my absolutely beautiful astrology soulmates. It's me, Stormie Grace, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for the week of December 5th, where this week I really kind of like the vibe we've got going because just a couple days ago, we had Neptune come direct in the energy of Pisces. Hopefully you've watched your December horoscope so you can hear all about it. You watched the weekly from last week as we explore what does it mean when Neptune is direct? What does it mean when Neptune's retrograde? But as Neptune is back into its direct fashion this week, and it's so slow, it's subtle, it's like a vibration that you could very much so miss. But some of the things that we saw that were not in alignment with our ideals will begin to crystallize form, and we'll start to take things in a different direction. And this has all been really juicy and delicious and getting us ready for March of 2023, where we're going to see Saturn start its tour through the energy of Pisces as well. So the Pisces areas of our chart, not only have they been changed in quiet, subtle, intangible, but they need to become reality kind of ways. I think at a real spiritual level for all of us, no matter where we're at in the world, our cultures, our communities, we're thinking and seeing and feeling into the world differently. You know, one of the phrases that I was talking about with my massage guy was just that the wisdom is innately here. We have it, and as we listen into that intuition and listen into the creativity, it's like, you know, we get to see around the delusions, or when the delusions are presented to us, sometimes it's a little bit easier to move around them because we realize our own wisdom. You know, your innate wisdom, your individual wisdom is already present and working. So I would love to know in the comment section down below this week, you know, how are you feeling that your life, your spirit, your creativity, your intuition is moving differently than it was, you know, even just a week ago? Where is the subtle comings in and comings on shifting for you? Now, speaking of some of the dissolvings, the delusions, the things coming down, you may be noticing that the grace space behind me is starting to look a little bit different, and I have got big news coming to share with you guys. Not just yet, but I've got big news on the way that I cannot wait to share with you. Okay, let's get ready to get into this week. But of course, and as always, if you have not got your astrology busy book, I would love for you to pick one up. I think you would love for you to pick one up. This is a really cool, it's just a word search, my friends, beautiful, but you get to take on different concepts that'll help you study your astrology. What are the keywords associated with the 4th house? What are the keywords associated with the 8th house that makes it different than the 12th house, right? What happens? What are the keywords we're going to use when Neptune's in your 4th house opposing your 8th house? What is the keyword, the one set of like keywords in a sentence form that you could give me? Well, this is a great book for you to figure that out and to relax and meditate and to enjoy. All right, up, off, and into the week we go. Now, right here as we're coming into the week on the 5th, we've got the moon traveling through that delicious energy of Taurus, reminding us of our creature comforts. But it's always the symbol too, I think, as we're coming into the week. Where is the moon on Monday? You know, yes, it's a moon day, right? But where is it? What sign is kind of leading us into the week to say, pay attention, cue in here? So as we're coming in Taurus, it's earthy, it's fixed, it's steady. Okay, we've had the moon in a conjunction with Uranus. So there's also this kind of vibration that's like, you know, truly emotionally from the inside out, in terms of my reactions, my proaction, my reflection, my emotional life. I think there's a different way. I'm open to different solutions. I'm open to innovate this area of my life. I'm open, right, to make coming outside and getting outside of my comfort zone a little bit more comfortable, right? Like, you know, it's almost that internal thought of become comfortable with the uncomfortable. I think that's a lot of Uranus in Taurus, where it's like, okay, wait, hold on. I've got to create the change that I want to see in the world, and I've also got to let the world create change and bring it out of me as well. Now, as we carry on and we get into Tuesday, Tuesday's a little bit of an energetically busy day, and we're going to step into some signatures I would really love you flashing back to. First of all, we're going to see that Mercury comes into a square with Jupiter. Now, as these two square, remember, the square aspect is like the 911 of the zodiac emergencies. It's like, do something, make a decision, make a choice, take an action, right? So as we have the smaller mind squaring the bigger mind, what can happen in this energy is like, wait a minute, does my do my plans and designs fit the big picture? Or do I just have a big picture of something that I want going on in my life and my world, but I don't actually have the plans in place to make that happen? So it's kind of this realigning. And one of the things that I think is really great when Mercury and Jupiter square each other is, seriously, just make a list. Just make a list. Write it down. What are the steps you need to take to get to the big thing, the outcome that you are trying to achieve? So this is a fantastic day. Make a list, check it twice. Find out who's naughty and nice, all of those things. But it's a great day to work with the energies in that way. Now, as we continue on, we're going to see Mercury move into the energy of Capricorn. Okay, so as we're seeing that dance of these two together, okay, because this is also a part of that Mercury-Jupiter square. So I want you to understand where Mercury's at as it's going to do this square up. It's very loose at this point. So anyways, Mercury's going to move into this energy of Capricorn. Now we're going to start to light up the signatures we were working with at the beginning of 2022 in January. Remember, we had Venus take its retrograde in the energy of Capricorn, okay? We're going to have Mercury take its retrograde in the energy of Capricorn at the end of the month. So I really want you to go back to the Capricorn area of your chart. What house is that for you? For me, this lights up the 5th house space. So where is it for you in your chart? And let's start to take note of the signatures that are coming in for us. As Mercury gets into Capricorn, the first thing you can think about is long-term planning, right? Long-term planning. I am making this decision, Mercury. I am communicating. I am making this plan, this negotiation, signing this contract, and it is going to carry me forward long term. I have an ambition here. I have a goal. I have a vision, a dream, a desire that I want to get to, and I'm going to have long-term conversations and make long-term decisions under this energy. So now, looking forward to this Mercury retrograde on December 29th, flashback to January of 2022. As Venus was retrograding through the energy of Capricorn, what was becoming new, different, evolved in your ambition, planning, desire structure, your career, in what you found valuable? How did a long-term relationship in your life change, including the one of you with you? How is the relationship of you with you? You with your higher self, you with God, you with the divine universe, a higher power, whatever you call it. How did your relationship with money, the government, get really different? What's going on in the relationship between you and your parents? What is happening in your structures with authority that you value differently as you're preparing to make these long-term decisions? Because remember, and if you haven't watched the interview with Taylor Schuler and I about looking back throughout 2022 and longer, in order to see where we're going December and moving forward into 26, 27, and so on, please check that out and follow the thought process as we're going through, and follow the dates, because we're always working in a set of patterns that we can flash back to, okay? So think about that as you arrive at this particular point on Tuesday. Okay, what else do we have going on? So as we get to Wednesday, yeah, beautiful. We've got a full moon happening this week. We've got this full moon happening at 16 degrees of Gemini. So locate that 16 degrees of Gemini on your chart. And if you don't know how to do that, you can click in the description box underneath this video and look for the How to Find the Active Transits video, and that'll show you exactly how to find it in your chart, okay? Now, the full moon is going to ask us to end something, acknowledge something, or to make an adjustment. Okay, so we need to see something. It's under all of the light in the sky, and we need to make some kind of course correction to it. In the energy of Gemini, where we've also got Mars retrograde in Gemini at this time, right? what we're really looking back over is all of the conversations, all of the decisions that we are making, people who are in our network, right? What have you been curious about? What has been something that you felt like I needed to have a conversation about this, or there was a conversation about this already and now new light has been shed on it? What do you need to put down, close out, finish discussion on in order to move yourself forward successfully? With Mars retrograde in Gemini at this particular time and the ruling planet of this lunation in Capricorn, your decisions, your actions now can lead to some serious strategic long-term planning, and it's moving you towards an ambition that you want. It's something steady and sturdy that you can stand on. It's also giving you the right place to say, relook at your network. Who's in your network? Who are you learning from? Who are you allowing to speak information into your life, right? This is a big question. We don't have a lot of time on this planet. We've only got what we're allotted. So who are you allowing to take up time and capacity in your world, in your space? It's a great time to get new insight and get a new strategy together to allow and to help yourself be as successful as possible. Now, just after this particular full moon, we're going to also see the sun sitting in an opposition to that Mars, who is retrograde in Gemini. So it all kind of happens at the same time, but then you get this little movement and we create this other aspect that's very independent. Now, as the sun and Mars are in opposition with one another, you got to think. We've got the sun, light, heat, life. I'm motivated over here. I want to do this. I want to be seen. I wanna, okay? And then you have Mars, who is not only retrograde in Gemini, but Mars being slowed down like that, this is a I desire planet as well. The sun, I want to be seen. Mars, I desire to have it do it. And they're pulling away from one another, right? They're going, oh, hold on, we're getting further. And instead, in an opposition, we want to create integration. So remember, first of all, oppositions tend to be relational. So is there, is someone in your life the sun? Is someone in your life Mars? Are you in someone's life the sun or Mars? Where you're actually pulling farther away, going in opposition to where you need to be meeting in the middle to get done what you need to get done. This can also be in your insides, right? My needs versus my wants, my home versus my work, right? Like we can see these oppositions happening even within our physical bodies sometimes. Now, some of the symptoms that you're looking for when we're talking about this opposition are, this is a Gemini-Sagittarius opposition. So first of all, big mind, small mind, right? Do I have a really big plan yet again, right? The sun in Sagittarius, and I want this. It's huge, but this is the big outcome idea. But it's still in opposition to my strategy. So is it a place where I need to go, okay, wait a minute. I need to speak up for what I want. Are you not being assertive enough, right? Do you feel like there's energy around you that is being louder than you? It's frustrating you, it's oppressing you, it's pushing you down, it's going against you. Are you being that energy for someone else and they are standing up to you, right? What is that dynamic of the opposition? But these are some of the symptoms that you will feel or are available for you to feel under this opposition. Now, this is an aspect I would tell you today. I think it's great for you to stand up. I think it's great for you to speak your voice. Remember to try and integrate, see where the other party is right and where you can meet in the middle. And I don't think it's a particularly strong day to take the biggest risks of your life. I think it's a day to try to find a way through the developmental tension that is available, okay? All right, when we get to Thursday, we've still got this beautiful moon traveling through the energy of Gemini, so busy days, there might still be a lot of conversation. Now, where I think we get a little bit of help is that on Friday, we see the moon move into the energy of Cancer, so now we're coming back to a little bit of compassion. We're coming back to a little of, okay, what makes me secure? What makes me feel grounded? What makes me feel like I belong and I have this sense of being a part of? Sometimes what we can find too in this Cancerian energy is it's very patriotic. And in mundane astrology, the moon represents the people. So I have no doubt that as we're here in the Christmas season in the United States, there is this sense of peopling. It doesn't necessarily mean everybody feels like they belong, but there is a sense of busyness with people, lots of cooking, lots of getting together and planning for these things. And, whatever's going on for you in your area, you may feel this Cancerian buzz going as well. Now, later in the day, we're going to see Venus in a square to Jupiter. So, one of the things about Venus and Jupiter being in a square is that it's interesting because here we are with the moon in Cancer, Venus squaring Jupiter while it's still in Sagittarius, and it kind of creates this space where it's like, I don't actually want to be around you, but there is something important going on here. So this is like the vision I have for that is like, you're around the planning table for the holidays, or you've got something going on and someone is trying to speak wisdom into your life, or you're trying to speak wisdom into someone else's life, and they like don't want to hear it, right? They're like, I don't want that. Like you're getting a bit of square resistance to what you're sharing. So one of the things I would tell you this day is that you're probably getting pretty important information. Venus is in Sagittarius, so the value of the truths or the knowledge that are coming your way, there's probably a nugget of truth in there somewhere. So what I would suggest to you is take it all in moderation. And of course, take what you need and leave the rest, and allow other people to do the same with you as well. You might know exactly what somebody needs to do to come to the other side, like the steps, but we have to remember that just because I know how to change the oil in my car and I can tell you how to do that doesn't mean that you're not going to have to take the same steps as I will. It's just built how it is. But it does mean that somewhere along the way, really screwing it up might be a part of your journey that I feel like you should avoid, but it's not for me to tell you how to do your journey. So it's kind of that moderation piece. Now, flashback to July 25th, what was going on for you when Venus and Jupiter were in this kind of dynamic before? Now, it is also Venus and Jupiter. Watch your moderation in what you're eating, what you're taking on, the plans that you're making, okay? Later in the day, we're back in this Capricorn signature as Venus moves into the energy of Capricorn. Now, I just am blown away with some enthusiasm around this because I feel like, Venus started the year retrograde in Capricorn going, you got to relook at the value of this relationship, the value of money, what you value, who you value, the value of your ambitions, the value of your dreams, the value of that work, your parents, all of these authoritative things that we really go out and build our lives on. And now Venus is back to like check in on what she taught us and what we're doing with it now. So this vibration of Venus here is like, what really do you find valuable? What is important and valuable for you in your relationships, in your financial structures? We're going to have Venus traveling through here, and you're going to, over the next few weeks, be needing to answer these questions based off of what you saw before. What are you doing with your money that allows your money, your work, your relationships to continue to have long-term sustainable value? Capricorn is a long-term Saturnian energy. So in your relationships, do you have the kind of relationship in your life that you can build on, right? It can last, like a long time, right? Whether it's a business partner, romantic relationship, are you in a situationship that is going to break your heart, right? Which is also a part of the learning lessons, right? Have you been in something long-term and you're like, the value is done here? These are big, heavy questions, but they're so important and they're so glorious when we look at the big picture of how do we want to live the rest of the life that we've got? How do we want to navigate it in the fullest without doing damage to others, right? Oh, so good. I'm just really very excited for that, obviously. Okay, and the last thing we're going to cover, Saturday's pretty chill. We still got the moon traveling through the energy of Cancer. And when we get to Sunday to bring it all home and get ready for the next week in December, the moon's going to move into the energy of Leo. So laugh throughout your weekend, right? Spend Sunday in laughter. Spend Sunday honoring the sun, right? Wear bright colors. Let the colors of the day, the energy of the sun, your presence with who and where you want to be and you want to be known, especially emotionally, right? We've got a moon in the sign of the sun. So this is kind of a new mooning energy as we're traveling through Sunday. So where would you like to plant your seeds of intention to begin something delicious for yourself this week, to bring joy, to bring ease, to bring play, to bring a nice emotional knowing, to know someone emotionally even close to you and see them for the presence of the universe and the joy that they are as well. All right, my beautiful friends, I hope you have a gorgeous week. I cannot wait to connect with you in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for taking time to subscribe, to like, to comment. I do see them. And if there were more than one of me, I would respond to all of you. But please know that I do see them. And for every comment that you put, I am popping you, even if I can't respond, with just a blast of support. I am just pushing that into all of the comments that I see go through. So I love you guys a ton, and I'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.